Whether you're an artist or and you're self-repped, or you have an agency and you've got a roster, there's a few key things I would consider. Now, APAP has got some great showcase producers, and usually what happens at APAP, they're all independent showcases. And what that means is that you as the artist, or if you're an agent, your artist is going to essentially sort of like sublet a showcase slot of time from a showcase producer. There are lots of showcases held at the Hilton, but there's also a lot of showcases that are held off site. Sometimes they might be at a club, like a jazz club, or a lot of the dance showcases are done over at City Center or Ailey through the Dance Managers Collective. And it might be that you have this one person who's renting the room at the Hilton and this particular ballroom, and then they're going to sell out blocks of time, whether they're 15 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever it might be, to artists and agencies who are interested in showcasing. It's expensive to do it. So I would say for your first year of going, I wouldn't necessarily recommend showcasing. I would recommend, if this is your first time going to APAP, go check it all out first and do the research, because it's a very expensive experiment if you haven't done it before, if you haven't done an independent showcase before. I would recommend checking it all out, because there's literally hundreds of showcases happening over the course of the conference. And every night in the hotel alone, there could be 15, 20 other showcases happening at the same time. So it's really good, I think, to research and do the lay of the land with that. And then if you decide you want to showcase as you're doing your research, find out who the showcase producers are in the hotel. Ask around and find out who's got a good reputation. What do they typically charge? What's provided? And most of the time, the PA and lights and some basic backline are provided in each of the showcase rooms. But the artist is by and large responsible for the travel expenses to get there, the showcase fees. What kind of materials do you need outside of the showcase rooms? A lot of the artists will have retractable banners that go up, sort of advertising themselves. The materials you need to have outside of the showcase room for presenters to pick up a one sheet on the artist. I would also say, if you are showcasing, let's say you did that last year and this is your first year of showcasing, presenters, because there are so many showcases happening at once, they are very often stopping into a showcase for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. They might not sit to see an entire 15-minute showcase. So they might stop in very quickly and get up and leave. If you're on stage, please don't think that they think you're horrible and they're leaving because they don't like the act. It could just be that they have got 3 other showcases that are happening in that same time block, and they want to see a little bit of each of them. I also wouldn't necessarily expect that when your showcase is over, even if you get a standing ovation or presenters like, that was fabulous, I wouldn't necessarily expect that you're going to talk to a lot of presenters after your showcase. Because again, they're sort of trying to get to see as many things as they possibly can. So just sort of bear that in mind. The showcases are a great opportunity for presenters to catch a little sample of your show. So make sure that your set or your act or whatever it is that you're going to do for that 10 or 15 minutes or 20-minute slot is your strongest material. I have seen showcases where the first thing a musician did, they got up on stage and they started tuning their guitar as part of their showcase time. And I thought, why wasn't that done in the green room before you came out? Those kinds of things, I think you need to be really cognizant of. Start strong, end strong, and be very aware of the fact that people are moving. This conference is like, it's just on the go the entire time.
You have to go in with as much planning ahead as you possibly can, because you only have a short amount of time to do the showcase and you want to make that impact. So it's not only just your song selection, your song choice, or your presentation. It's the logistics of where you are, the room, the time, in relation to other bands. How you place your music is really important, really an integral part of how it's also going to be received. So all of those things matter. You have to choose particular songs. It all depends on what you want to get across? What is the message and the energy of your band that you want to convey in that kind of 15-20 minute slot that you have? And it's difficult because you're presenting in front of a group of people who've been there all day long, in meetings and sessions and things like that, and you want to be remembered. If your work is really something that speaks from your soul, you will magnetically captivate everyone who is present and willing to take that in.
I love producing showcases. I think it's really important to get all your ducks in a row early, like get your venue situated. I know there's a huge difference between off campus and the Hilton hotel conference room showcases. In the Hilton, it's so easy for people to attend. For me, in the artists that I produce, I feel like I create the best experience and can sort of cultivate and curate that experience by having it off campus and not at the Hilton. For me, it's also important to have that not be a challenge by it being off campus for presenters to come. So I usually rent a venue pretty close to the Hilton. It's got a great vibe. I start inviting people as early as now. I've already been sending out invitations. Yeah, because again, people's schedules, they're so tight. It's such a short conference and so intense, and there's so many possibilities and opportunities that it's important. I mean, for me, it's sort of a rolling showcase. It's always Friday night of APAP, so if you're new to this, just think of that in the future, is that it's a little bit hard to gauge what the best night is because, APAP starts later in the week and goes through Tuesday. So having it Friday, I don't have a lot of time to pitch in advance in the expo hall. So I have to make sure I do that earlier on by email and telephone. But I'll tell you, all of that outreach that happens before the end of this year, that room is always full. And because of the music that's curated, it has a vibe. The room itself has a vibe. Everyone's happy. People come, they're like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stay, because of course they want to see so many things. And I'm like, don't worry, just leave whenever. I'm really happy you're here. 9 times out of 10, they end up staying the whole time because they're just so loving the experience. So I like being able to cultivate an experience